Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Local, brought to you today by Think Big, Go Local, with your host, Kent Deke Jones.
Thanks, Drew. How are you?
Good, buddy. How you been?
Hey, life is good. It's a Tuesday afternoon, high noon, as they say.
Yes.
And what a better time. It's your dime, so let's talk local.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Of course, to my right, your left, depending on how you're looking at the screen or your radio. This is the one, the only Bobbi Baehne.
Hey there.
Bobbi, how are you?
I'm good, Kent. How are you?
I am awesome. Founder,
co-owner of Think Big, Go Local.
That's awesome.
I know.
Think Big, Go Local is a fill in the blank
digital marketing agency that serves small business owners, helping them leverage the power of the internet to grow their business, build relationships, sell their products and services, entertain people, educate people, whatever their jam is. We're trying to help them do it.
I think that's cool.
She edutains people.
Edutains
I
people.
love it.
That's it. So this business is found in McHenry, Illinois.
Founded in McHenry 10 years ago this year. Yeah.
Nice.
The anniversary.
2023, or is it 2024?
2023.
All right.
It's 10 years. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever think you'd make it 10 years?
Oh yeah. Because once I'm in, I was committed. Yeah. No question that I was going to make it 10 years.
All right. So the question that I always have with entrepreneurs is, did you go to school for this? Was this your background, or were you like, I see a niche and I'm going to run after it?
Yeah, no, I actually saw a niche. So before I started the business, my daughter, actually the year Facebook launched was my daughter's freshman year in college.
Okay.
So she's telling me all about this cool new platform that I can't see because I don't have an EDU address yet. So I was kind of into it right away because I just wanted to check it out, until I checked it out and then realized you should not be on Facebook when your firstborn is away at college. And this was where the cool kids were hanging at the time. So,
right.
It was a little scary. But immediately I started getting connections of people I hadn't seen since grade school. And I just could see that opportunity of reconnecting. So I kind of got into it. And at that time, I was the executive marketing director at a nonprofit in Arlington Heights that served abused and neglected kids. And we were really trying to reach those kids that were runaways, potential runaways, having big issues at home. And this was the place to reach them at that time, not on Facebook today, but back then.
Right.
And everyone in the office, it's a fad. It's not going to stick around.
Right. I remember
you don't
those
want to be there.
conversations.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
get on there. Yeah.
Don't get there. Don't do it. But I was pretty committed. And
Yeah.
that was kind of how it all started. And from there, I started helping some small business owner friends. We have a family business that we used, and there were no business pages or anything, and just kind of got obsessed. And now it's challenging and it changes every time I go to bed, and I thrive in that environment. So it's just worked out well for me.
Yeah, I don't. The amazing thing is, and if you didn't know, I won a lawsuit against Meta, and it was a facial recognition. I got a $7.20 check.
Congratulations. That's pretty amazing.
Did you spend that all in one place?
I called Mr. Zuckerberg and said, "Hey, Zuck, can I cash this check? Will this go through?" He said, "Hold on to it till the 30th. No, that is awesome. So you got in there and you were just fascinated by it.
Yes.
And did you have a MySpace page? Were you that person?
Of course, yeah. I had a MySpace page. Yeah, I'm a pretty creative person, so I kind of enjoyed all of that kind of thing. Facebook didn't give you as much space to be as creative, I feel, as
Right.
MySpace did.
Correct.
I mean, that was kind of awesome, but
it was marketed well.
it was marketed well. And my very first client, can I give him a little shout out?
Absolutely.
So Good
Yeah.
Mechanical Services, good old Scott Ritt, you may have met him at some point, was my first client. And just seeing the results it gave for him and the amount of money we could tie to
Mhm.
Facebook advertising to his business was just really fulfilling. It was just really exciting. So
That's
to be
awesome.
able to have fun doing something that you thought was cool and someone else is growing their business and supporting their family. And yeah, I like
And now you're on everything, right? Instagram, TikTok.
Now we're on everything, and we have clients
Twitch.
all over North America, Canada, this, coast to coast in the United States. It's a lot of fun.
So
Yeah,
cool.
it is really cool. It's pretty cool.
Now, is this what you had envisioned when you founded this and said, you know what, this is going to be cool, fun, and we're going to blow it up? Or did you think, well, I'll be here in my backyard all the time, just helping
I
out?
really thought? So when I started the business, my youngest daughter was in her senior year in college, and my actual real thought was, if I fall on my face, no one suffers but me. So that's where
Right.
we first were at. Was this is a good time to take a chance, right? But back then, it was really, content was a different ballgame
Sure.
than it is today. It was like, I can get some pictures, create some cool graphics, and, we'll promote your business. Nowadays, you just have to be everywhere. Like, you got to be creating videos, and it's so much more challenging today than it was when I started. I still really enjoy it, but
Now, I know that, and I'm going to give some shouts out too, because you work with a lot of people, if that's okay. But the Bremer team is one.
Yeah.
You were working with McHenry Savings Bank as well.
we were, yeah.
And just some great. And I look at that and I'm like, where do they find the time? Because you have more than just those, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
and there's you all are throwing content. How big of a? Do you have 500 employees now? How big?
No, we don't. We have a pretty small team. There's 6 of us, which we managed to get all the things done for the most part with 6 of us. But we do have some really fun clients, and everybody's so different. Like we got into this, well, since we're dropping names, so we do Richardson's Corn Maze, Richardson's Tulip Festival, Richardson's,
Okay, cool.
and that is one of my favorites because we have such a great relationship, and there's just tons of content, to get out there, and they share a lot with us. But we got in this little niche. Now we have corn mazes all over the country,
Really,
which is really fun. But just kind of training people how to create content nowadays. Like, don't send me a picture, take a little video and let me chop it all up and, things like that. It's just gotten different, but it's just fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
all of our staff finds their little places that they enjoy. And then, everyone gets diverse clients and it makes it enjoyable.
And I think that's a neat thing with what you do because of your creativity, and you're encouraging other people to be creative. Hey, just take that quick little video, have a little fun. We'll do the rest.
Yeah.
Because it is addictive. What you do is addictive.
It is.
How do you get through that addiction? Because if it was like with the creator studios here, there are nights I'm up late. Because I'm just like, I gotta get this spinner, or then I go down a rabbit hole someplace.
Yes. I have to stop myself from, like, people think that that I see all their Facebook stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you must have seen it on Facebook. I'm like, no, because I have had to train myself to stay out of it. The challenge, I'll tell you, TikTok is the worst. Like, I get in there to create content, and you have to go through to see what's trending, find some audio. That's a rabbit hole I struggle with a lot. I really struggle.
I have wasted many 4 or 5 hours at a time in the talk.
I love every bit of getting lost in there.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it really
is. It's amazing how much incredible creation there is, and how talented people are.
And talented and stupid at the same time. Like, there's I do not for the life of me understand TikTok Live. Like, every TikTok Live I've ever watched is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. And yet they're making money. People are throwing gifts at them. I'm like, I don't get how, like, I don't care who you are or what you do or what you're passionate about. There's a place out there for you to be growing community and making money.
We don't go out on TikTok yet because our back office, you'd have to link in every time, and it's kind of a headache. So we just, You know,
they're working on that.
Yeah, if people want to, you know, we say here's the MP4, you can chop it up
and go put it out there.
go
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
They should call it the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
because once you're on it, you're on it. You know, you can't get away.
You know what
from
I
it.
started? You got me started on this, Drew. Was Snapchat. No.
Oh yeah,
I don't know how to use that. So my 14-year-old daughter is like, "Did you send me a Snapchat?" I go, "I think so. What was it?" She goes, "There was a picture of you and Mom. Were we singing?" She goes, "No." I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
the filters
I'm so
on
sorry.
Snapchat are so fun. I make little movies out of them and show my kids just to embarrass them.
I don't even.
You know, it's a great time.
I thought I was being the cool dad. She goes, "No, it's just a picture." She goes, "Mom," I was like, "No."
I try.
I don't know what I'm doing.
22 skidoo.
That's right. Now, when you're doing this, this is, I mean, you were way ahead of the curve. I mean, you saw it coming, so
Yeah.
you have the ability to, you and your team, to vision and say, "Hey, here's what's coming," and we have to be able to adapt and move and do this, because if you're like, and a lot of business owners are like me, is like, "I'll wait to see if it catches on," right?
Right. Oh, and that's the thing, you know. It's hard with our customers because we can tell clients this is what you should be doing, but especially today with so much of it being video based and so creative, like people get really uncomfortable fast. So, you know, we can warn them, but that doesn't always turn into being productive. But I mean, imagine if you jump into these platforms early just to test it out, build a little audience, you know, have some community going, and then it blows up. Like you're in such a sweet spot. So I'm always trying to encourage people to check that out. And I'm always doing it. Like I try to get on these new things, you know, like when Be Real, is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Where you're like,
remember that? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's still a thing, but you know what? A year ago, if you were in a college town in a bar, or even in this town this coming weekend, Thanksgiving, when everyone's home, and they send out that alert, like the whole place stops and everybody's checking out their phones. So I'm like, all right, got to check it out. Get there. Hated it. It was really stupid. There's some new ones now, but you got to get in there and you got to see what they are and, you know, if it's for you or not. But people that aren't doing that are missing out on huge opportunities.
Yes, I agree.
Because that's really, you know, instead of being like a billboard marketer, a newspaper ad marketer, telephone book cover marketer, right? You're now in a space that this is where everybody's eyes are.
Right.
I mean, I challenge anybody, go to a local restaurant and tell me that mom and dad and their kids are not looking at the phone instead of each other.
Oh, isn't it?
Right?
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy.
And it's just, that's where everybody's eyes are. I don't even have cable anymore. We stream everything.
I watch YouTube almost I pay for it because I don't have time for commercials. So like, and my attention span has gotten that small that I can't really stomach a movie unless it's really, really
it's got to be good. It's got to be good.
I'm into bite-sized things that I can, you know, grab quickly.
We of course, after the party yesterday, we were talking in the green room. We got home late at 7:30, and so and so we put on what is it? Disney's The Little Mermaid, the new one, not the cartoon.
Right.
And I'm like,
I
was like, it's too long and too slow for me. I was like, I gotta go do something.
And this is the thing I'm trying to convince business owners of is, you know, it's something like 80% of content people are watching on their phones in video. And I'm still trying to get business owners to be like, you can do it. Like you can get in front of that camera. You can record that stupid stuff because dumb to you. I have had I once did a video of the salt machine. We do a lot of government, you know, local governments, and the salt thing that flings the salt onto the road when it snows. One of the guys thought they were funny, filmed it, sent it to me. One of the best videos ever for that account. And I'm like, so stupid. But people are like, oh, that's how that works, you know, like just random. So
that is, but that's your creative mind. And when I say your creative mind, you're active in the community, right?
Very much so. Yeah.
With a lot of good causes. A Rise Up is one of them. Yes.
Yep. Just made our announcement tonight for that one, so go check that out.
Hey,
nice.
Performing this summer.
That's awesome. You give your time selflessly, I want to say, right? You're on the board of directors for Gigi's Playhouse.
Yes, I'm the president of the board right now. Yep.
So with as active as you are, you are an am I saying this right? An adjunct professor or adjunct teacher at McHenry?
Yeah, I was
College.
just termed off the board there too.
And you were on the board there. So why? What is it that giving back and being so involved in the community, why is that so important to you? Because you'd said earlier here on the show that you were at a nonprofit, to help challenged kids and whatnot. So there's a place in your heart or something that you find the time to give back. How, why, what is it?
It's so even in reverse. The biggest challenge I had when I started my business was charging people. So somewhere something's not right in my head.
I understand that.
So like the passion to actually help and make a difference and enjoy what you're doing and see the, reward on the other side of that has just, I don't know, it's just part of who I am. And charging was the hard part. Giving it away for free is the easy stuff for me. So even, we've always done tons of free training. Like that's just something we've always been passionate about. I have a real belief that I could teach people everything that I know and nobody's going to consume all of it anyways. So there's always a space to give away knowledge and still make money, And so for me, it's been the giving away has just sort of been the enjoyable piece, and figuring out how to monetize it and pay the bills is, is actually the challenge.
Well, that goes back to saying, helping people, a lot of people, and you've heard me say this many times, people don't put a price tag on that, helping people. If you help 10, you get 20. And if you're authentic doing it, it'll keep that motor running, self-propelled, right? I love your story, number one. And the fact that you are so involved with so many different community aspects. Is there a story behind why you wanted to get involved with that?
I've been involved in a lot of different things, and a lot of it has been a result of people asking and saying yes, sometimes to things I really enjoyed, sometimes to things I'm like, why am I in this room? But everything has led to something else. And what I've learned, I used to sit on city council in McHenry, and I chaired the Economic Development Commission there for a while. And we have such a phenomenal economic development team there. And I really learned a lot about, I think part of it is like, what does it actually take to be a community? Like you have to have successful businesses. You've got to have nonprofits that serve people that have, needs in the community. You've got to have government that functions well. So as I've kind of moved around and served on a lot of different things, you start to realize that, it's all part of living in a great place, and where you can enjoy the places you go out, to dinner at, but you can enjoy the other businesses that are here. So I think it's just sort of been a part of finding the needs that are in the community and wanting to make sure you serve that, because it just makes the community better, stronger.
Make sure, it's home, right?
It's home, right? Yeah. Exactly.
It makes it very local.
Very local. Like Gigi's Playhouse, I really had no connection, but they were really struggling after COVID to stay open and, to figure out how to raise money. And they just didn't have the leadership team that they needed. And I really had no connection, but they begged. And, you learn more and you're like, okay, I feel like I can offer something here. Like, I think I can help.
And we love them. I mean, you invited me to be the MC at their
fashion show.
Yeah, which was just a blessing. It's
still
one of the best. It was one of the best days of the year for me. It was amazing.
It was. Well, we hope to have you back. We just picked a new date, so I'll be getting that to you. But it's amazing. I never have been hugged so genuinely by people in my entire life than walking into Gigi's Playhouse. Like they mean it.
Yeah,
and they're fun.
And check them out, right? Gigi's Playhouse, McHenry
County.
They're great. So. With that said, you had mentioned the year of 2020. So we know that that was a big turning point. Did it hurt a lot of businesses?
Yeah.
Was that a good year, a bad year? Was it just an average year for you because you're kind of online? Or what changes happened to your business?
Yeah,
Because that was year 7.
It was, and it wasn't a great year because the first thing that businesses cut when times get tough are their marketing dollars, right? So we, thank goodness for, all the things they put in place to keep businesses functioning. But we made a decision pretty quick that we were just going to focus on how can we help, because what else are you going to do? So we started doing free classes. We partnered with a lot of local business organizations, chambers of commerce, and, just started doing courses for free, how to better market your business, how to start a Facebook show, how to do things, live streaming. And that was really just the focus that we had. And
you
made it through.
You did a marketing something, a podcasty type live stream.
I did. So for years, I actually adopted Facebook Live really early.
Yes.
Like as soon as it came out, I started doing a show. And I mean, you guys know, you show up consistently, you're interesting, you bring people on, you offer value. We did that for a long time. I will say COVID screwed that up for me because I quit getting dressed in the morning, doing the makeup, the working from home. It became really challenging, So that was actually one of the kind of downfalls that lasted for a little too long. We're hoping to resurrect that quickly here, but that was one of the challenges. So it did definitely pose challenges when all of a sudden you're not in the office, you're not with your people, you're working from home, trying to stay motivated. The world sucks.
That was a huge carrot toss for us here.
Yeah.
And when I say carrot toss, that means lever for those people. It's a fancy word. But because so many people were at home and they wanted to listen to something different, that helped us really get on the map.
Yeah.
And I was surprised. Of course, we had Uncle Pete that was, every morning, doing it. And since we were media or whatever, we could leave the house and come in, so he and I spent a lot of time here just having fun.
Yeah.
And of course he was on every morning with, Uncle Pete in the morning, and everybody started their day and it just went shoo. So,
and that's the beautiful thing about being able to see an opportunity when it comes, right? So like we were in our groove. So, this kind of threw a monkey wrench into our stuff. But what we were trying to say to people is, guess what? Here's your opportunity. Like figure it out now, get comfortable with your face in front of the camera because you'll find your people, they're out there. It doesn't have to be everybody.
So now what I love, and take time to check out thinkbiggolocal.com. That's Bobbi's up there that we'll show here in a second, because you have your own, because you do speak, you do trainings, you do great things. But what I love about your website is you animated it. Not
our new website,
yes,
isn't it cool?
It is so cool. So it's not like me. They're like, hey, right?
Yeah,
it's
we went pop art. Did some
art.
Fun,
it's
cool.
Really cool.
Think big, go local. Think big, go global. Think big, go home early, because we got you covered.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool. Check it out. Do yourself a favor. Go to www.thinkbiggolocal.com because it's just a really, really cool website. And it's something different. It's something unique, but it's something you're like, that's cool.
Yeah, it kind of pops.
Right?
There it is.
So if you have a chance, check that out. That had to be, was that a tough conversation with Brian?
Yes, it was actually probably, I don't know about tough. It was really different for us because from the beginning, Brian was not a founder of the company.
Right.
He came on later. When I realized that all this social media work was awesome, but if you didn't drive traffic somewhere that you could convert people, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
But I was always the face of the company. I had purple hair and it was really recognizable.
That was your trademark.
It was my trademark. I built a really great brand. I traveled all over the country and people recognized me. And then it got to the point where, I gave up the purple hair after COVID. It was high maintenance. It was very high maintenance. But, making that shift from being the face of the business to kind of stepping back and letting the business become its own brand was probably harder on me than Brian. Brian was all in. Brian's all in for everything. I
Yeah.
have the best business partner in the world.
Yeah,
We're nothing alike, and it's the most beautiful relationship there is. We are polar
so
opposites,
true.
and I love it.
It's so
Love it.
true. It's so true. And so that's hard. And do you help coach a lot of businesses with that? Because when it's your baby, that was one of the things I always told Pete. Pete was on every day. I go, I don't want people, because we all know the individuals who live stream all the time, like, hey, going out to my mailbox.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me tell you about a life lesson,
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't care, and then you're like, just scroll through here. Oh, here's this. Here she is again. Here he is again.
Yeah.
Right. So during 2020, we were a lot of the ones here, but I was like, I don't want to be on the air. I don't want it to be, oh, there's Kent again. Go through it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that, do you help business owners understand that to allow that? Because when the small businesses are like, it's mine. Yeah.
Yeah. And we do. And it's hard sometimes. I keep banging this table. I'm probably doing all kinds of bad things.
Oh, you're okay.
It's tough because the biggest challenge, I think, first is to get people in front of the camera, because everybody's got their inhibitions about why they can't do that, So first you got to do that, but then you've got to do the reverse of, okay, now we need to add some value. So like, what are you actually doing to add value? Like, are you the expert on everything? Can't you bring somebody else in, that's an expert with you? Mm-hmm. So we kind of have to do both on either side of it, because it's tough to get them in front of it, and then it's tough to get them, to do something that's a little more.
Yeah, and that's what Let's Talk Local is all about. Is Drew and I are doing the first few here, but then we're going to bring people in like you to be the host to interview somebody else.
Absolutely.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
and
cool.
So sign up. And
no pressure.
I'm in.
Again, now it's your business, their business, right? So it's not always about me and Drew,
right,
and Mike,
and it's not about us,
right?
It's about the community and letting the community talk to other community members.
And so I think that's brilliant, that you do that for companies and help them see that and kind of, okay, it's time to let your baby walk a little bit.
Yeah. Or, one of the things that I love coaching people to do is empowering their employees too, because, you get a business owner who just doesn't seem to think anybody else could represent them. And yet it's like, look around you at the people that are still there, or that are really funny or have a different talent, and, start showcasing things that other people find interesting.
Agreed.
Because a lot of times business owners, well, first of all, they paralyze themselves a lot, because if it's not perfect, they're not doing it. And nobody wants perfect. We want authentic, know? And so, trying to kind of get past that too is a challenge.
It is.
Well, I had this up on the screen, Kent. I'll pop it back up here. Love the purple hair, by the way.
Thanks. It was pretty great.
She was. She could walk through an airport on the other side of this great nation, and somebody would say, "Oh, you're Bobbi Baehne."
There's Bobbi.
Yeah.
I was in San Diego once, and I met Gary Vaynerchuk. You guys need to know who Gary is.
I know Gary.
Yeah, so I love Gary. I was a huge fan. It was 2 a.m. We're hanging out, and he's like, "I recognize you. I know you." And I'm like, "You don't, but I'm gonna own that for a little while." We got to hang out for a while and chat. Yeah.
Gary's a great guy.
Gary's awesome. I did my TED Talk about that experience, actually.
Yeah, TED Talk.
Amazing.
Talk about that a little bit, because that's that's a very intriguing. I mean, it looks like you. I mean, look at all this. Yeah, she's amazing.
She even went with the TED Red. That TED Talk.
Yeah, it was actually kind of a fushia. It was all about the shoes.
That stance says confidence all over it.
That's why it's all about the shoes. That was always my confidence
I'm with
builder.
You. Shoes and glasses. I'm in.
Yeah, see, right. Like
I have the same shoes on right now. We would have looked the same. It would have been embarrassing.
It would have been.
I'll tell you the coolest thing about that TED Talk, which was the coolest opportunity. Who doesn't think that's not cool? But this was even cooler. A year before I did that, almost to the week, I was up in Milwaukee at a conference, and I was listening to a speaker that was talking all about manifestation, like just setting what you're going to do. And it was just the craziest thing. I'm listening to her, and I make this decision, and I wrote in a notebook, I'm doing a TED Talk. And I closed the notebook as if that was done. Wrote it down, said it to myself, shut it. And literally a year later, I'm on the TED stage. It was insane. Wow. Like, that to me was the coolest it just all fell into my lap. It was crazy. Right,
Right.
there you go.
Write it
Write
down.
it down.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Make sure you write
Own
down
it.
Drew
I
on
know.
TED Talk.
I'll tell you, I'm so proud of you, because it's really, really cool. And when I heard you were doing it, I go, I was jealous about that much, and I got so excited for you. I'm like, how cool is that?
It
right?
was cool. It was really cool.
Because
And
as a talker, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I was like, everybody wants to be on a TED Talk.
I know.
Now I don't have anything to talk about, right?
Right.
But I'd get up there and just babble. But so I was like, God, how does she get that? But that's awesome. And then I was like,
That's
I was
cool.
so excited for you. And
Yeah.
so it's so cool.
It was really cool. And you know what? Again, we talked about community and like being part of a local community. And this happened next door to my house was where I gave the TED Talk.
Mm.
And in this little community that, I grew up in, never thinking in a million years something cool like that would be happening here, and people flew in from all over the world, literally, to give their presentations. And I'm like, how did this fall into my lap? But
so cool.
I'd been through some things, and I guess I had a story that, was somewhat compelling, and it was amazing.
That's a nice golden ticket for your pocket too, because listen, that's big stage, and you definitely know you have the talent if you end up on that stage.
Yeah.
What I will say this, much like you guys, give me a microphone. I'm always good for talking. I mean, and you know what, when you know your topics and you know what you talk about, but this was different. I'd actually practiced this. My poor dog had to listen to this TED speech over and over and over again. But so it was interesting not being able to just wing it,
Yeah,
right.
Different
And
content.
now I go to like, Dr. Lula or whatever, and I can just hear the dog going, oh, here she goes again.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Little known secret here on 216 is that this afternoon at 5 p.m., the deep dive with Nick Espinoza. Nick has done 2 TED Talks. We've got one of our hosts has done 2 TED Talks.
Excellent.
And it's a great, great show every Tuesday at 5. And he is a white hat hacker. So he's all about IT and nerdy stuff.
Yep. Yeah, it's good though. It's real good.
It's always a good show.
But
a little known, here's another little known secret about 216. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
We have the oldest podcast host in the world.
Really?
Yes. Every
How old?
she's 96.
Oh, how cool is that?
Mike Latone. I don't know if you know
I
Mike.
do know
Yeah,
Mike. I've known Mike from very
So Mike
long
and Fran
ago.
have a show. His mom have a show
Oh.
every Monday morning.
Okay.
Every other is the new content drop, but every Monday morning at 8, I want to say, Mike and Fran unrehearsed. So yeah, I thought you knew Mike. Yeah.
How cool to be that age and be giving
She's a
value and
riot.
entertaining people. That's amazing.
They're a riot.
I love it.
She is
I'm gonna have to listen
she is
in.
absolutely right. She's almost Betty White-ish, because she's like 96. She's unfiltered and has seen a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
And a big Chicago Cubs fan. And she's been a little under the weather. So, Fran, we're praying that you get everything straightened out, which is good. But yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
very cool.
but so there's just some interesting
I love the fun
tidbits,
facts.
right?
Love it.
Now, what's next for Think Big, Go Local?
Well, the big thing that's next is we're relaunching this whole live thing we used to do. We're hoping to work with these guys here and
Hey,
get that
we're
going
excited
again
about that.
All
in
right.
the beginning of the year. I have to say that is what made my business. Like
Yes.
public speaking and going live, we grew so fast it blew my mind. Like never expected
Mm-hmm.
that, those kind of relationships to be built. And I mean, even just in the last few weeks, I've been starting to do TikToks more and people reaching out like, I've missed you. Like, this is awesome. And you just, I don't know. It's just really interesting how it all plays out.
Now, 2 bald guys and a microphone. You were a big inspiration for us because we watched your lives. We watched you do
I
it.
watched you guys all
And
the
then
time.
we were like, hey, let's just try it. Let's
just do it.
Let's do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You just got to
Yeah.
do it.
So we would watch all the time and big fans. And that was the truth. And hey, did you see that one? What's that?
Bring some guests on. Let's do something interesting.
Yep. So little did you know that you were a big inspiration.
Oh, that's
to
really an
founders
honor
here.
because that was a cool show. That was fun to watch. That turn into something.
Well, it was.
It really turned into
It's
something.
something now.
Yeah, it turned into something.
I am not the other bald guy.
That's right.
I am the bald guy, but not the other.
Not the other one. That's right. It is something now. And Wednesday mornings at 8 a.m. Now, two bald guys and a microphone still on here.
Still going.
Tomorrow we'll have Matt Birafato. He's an author, the Purpose Hunter. He's motivational speaker. Has a podcast as well. He's going to be bringing it over to our platform. And
Great guy.
And we had him on last week, and we just didn't get enough time with him, so he said he'd come back.
Nice. That's quite an honor.
Yeah. So that's a good thing. Now, when it comes to everything that you do, it's social media marketing, web pages, SEO. I'm leaving other stuff out. I know I am.
We do paid ads is something we're doing tons of right now. Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads. So we're doing a lot of paid advertising. The SEO we usually are really focused on is on site, on your website, making sure it turns up. Right now it's tough. Businesses, you can go into GoDaddy, build yourself a website, you can go into anywhere and build a website. Yep. That doesn't mean anyone's ever going to find it. So that's one of the challenges that we have. I mean, we've had years where all we had was people coming in our office crying because they tried to do it themselves and the phone stopped ringing. And, it's they make it look so darn easy on those Wix commercials, drag and drop and you have yourself a site, but nobody knows it's there. So
that's right.
We're really focusing
on and back in the day, so the progression, it used to be, hey, you get 3 pages just full of words, and you just had to make sure the right words were in there.
Oh yeah, it could be the worst website ever, but if the right words were there.
And now you have websites with very few words because people don't want to take the time. They're looking on their phone at a red light, right? So they don't want to read.
It's a picture book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
but you got to have those words somewhere. So then it's
somehow.
like figuring out, like, what does metadata mean? Where do you put that stuff?
Right.
How do we, have things show up and, just trying to educate people on and creating content, that's a problem too, is a lot of people build it and then they never touch it again.
Yeah.
And then it just dies, so trying to encourage people so we do a lot of blog writing, working with our clients to get content on their site. And then of course that makes it easy for us to have content to share in social too, because you can take a blog and chop that puppy up into a million pieces of content.
I preach that, business owners that are in bootstrap or startup, they mean well, but what they need to do is focus on their mission critical process, right? Of what they do for a living. That's not what they do for a living. That's what you do for a living. So it's always about the right who, and you are the right who, because you're multi-talented and multifaceted in all these spaces to where if they were to let you grow with them, it's a nice mutual. But they don't understand that the biggest, and tell me if I'm wrong, the biggest thing you always hear as a business consultant is, I don't have that in my budget. We can't afford that.
Right.
Yeah.
And instead of them waiting for you to go, well, let's work it out, they're instantly shut you out, and then they go to Wix and then they build this site, right?
Yeah.
Which, might work if you target that site in every pitch and every card you hand out to aim enough people there to sit on top. But that's a lot to do. Yeah. So when you're doing that, are you focusing on your sales? Are you focusing on your logistics? Are you focusing on your accounting? Are you focusing on your business? Work on your business. While great people like you and your business are focusing on the ads, the marketing, staying on top of all that stuff.
Getting the phone to ring.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that. So folks, listen, I would say reach out. Yep. If this is something that you have an interest in, what's the best course of action for them to get a hold of you?
To get a hold of me, email, any social media channel. We're on all of them. They get overwhelming sometimes, but
anywhere.
Us on call us. On our website. On our website's probably the best place. That's coming right to us through email. There's contact forms on our website for sure, but absolutely. Like, so many people want to be everything in their business and we can't. I mean, I suck at doing my QuickBooks. Like and you want to feel like I can do this. This is my business. I should do it. And, finally going, no, I'm going to do way better focusing on running my business and having someone else do the things that I don't have time for or I'm not good at, and you can't, not many people are good at building websites.
Yeah,
They're
no.
kind of a complicated process.
Even the people who think they are sometimes aren't.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly.
Right.
That's for sure. That's
Now,
for sure.
what separates you there? So I think of Fiverr. I think of all these inexpensive ways as an entrepreneur to go. Oh, I can go to Fiverr and pay somebody $25 and they'll, whatever, right?
They'll build a landing page and then they're out.
Yeah, exactly. What's your process with somebody who comes to you and says, "Hey, you know what? We're struggling. We've got this, 2001 website. It hasn't changed."
Yeah.
Great question. Kate.
Yeah, great question. So my business partner, Brian Rugg, is our website development genius, and he really has a fantastic process. So for us, we've got a couple things that are really key to us. First of all, we want to empower our customers. They own everything. And a lot of these businesses, like, even some of these platforms, once you build it, it stays there and you can never move it around. So we're really strong on, we want you to develop great content in a platform that you own, that we can help you to cultivate the right copy. Brian's really big on the experience people have on the website. So it's not just about what it looks like. It's about how quickly can I find what I'm looking for? Does every page build credibility for your business? Wherever they land, are they going to be able to feel like they're going through a story about what it's like to work for you, what it is that you offer, and find it that fast? Because if they don't, they're going to go find it somewhere else. So for us, and we have to fight with clients sometimes because they have a vision, which we care about, but we also want results. We want conversion. We want people to know what they're there for, and go through it. And then educating our customers too. So Brian includes hours of training whenever he builds a website, because he doesn't ever want anyone to feel like you have to come back to us and pay us to change something. We want you to know how to do it without screwing it up. We don't, but so that's a big part of our process as well. And then things that people don't know, like, is your website accessible to people that might have special needs? And what could happen to you as a business if it's not? Or even if someone comes to you and they just don't have the experience they need to have, and they're going to go somewhere else. So, that's been something we've been really big on this year.
And I've heard you say that before, and that's just something I would never have thought, like, the ADA and just making sure that, somebody with a disability can visit your website.
Right. I had a client today. He's got a Black Friday sale and it's up at the top of his site. We didn't even build his site, but we work with we do his social media, work closely with his web designer. And he's like, well, we should put that in red, because, like red, but I'm like, red on black. No, there's a lot of people that won't be able to see it. And now, like, contrast is really important. So sometimes what you think is cool is not really what's, effective. So
I'd be like,
yeah, right, exactly. So for us, and my son was colorblind
because they have a black car with red highlights doesn't make it cool on your website. Okay.
So a lot of it for us is education. Like, we're really, really big on that with our customers.
And as a business owner, I don't know what I don't know.
Exactly.
And you know a lot of what I don't know.
Right. So we want to make sure we
My
pass
wife
that
does
on.
too.
We don't have secrets. Like, we're not trying to have anybody come to us because we have some big secret we're not going to share with you. We want you to know it.
Yeah.
That's
awesome. And it's a process with you, right? So I mean, it's like you just don't. All right, we got it done. There you go. It's
no,
how
Brian,
do you like this? How do you feel with everything, right? With all your
every step of the way. He's building it somewhere where it's not public, sharing it, giving you some design ideas. We like to be creative too, and we don't ever want two things to look the same. So, everything we do is totally custom. There's no templates that we're building on or anything like that. And
and when we take a look at this too, and I want to put this out there because you do have businesses of all size that you work with. However, you love the small business world.
I do. Yeah.
And when I say small business, I'm talking the 2 or 3 truck person, the 1 to 3 truck person,
mom and pop,
the solopreneur.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that said, your pricing, your business model addresses all of that.
Absolutely.
So
it does. Yeah.
So it's not like, well, we'll take your first kid and your kidney.
Right.
Right. Well, you can have.
We've actually had situations where this is probably too much information, but where we've worked with some bigger companies who've actually told us, you need to bump up that price so they take you serious. And I'm like, but it's the same website we built for, like it's really the same. Yeah, I know, but it's crazy. Like I really do like the small businesses. You make a bigger impact. There's less red tape, but you build deeper relationships. And I feel like you make a bigger difference when everybody buys in, and works together. As
When I was working for the bank, it was, they said, hey, we got that. Oh, good. This is good for us because they had no marketing at all. I'm like, this will be good for us, and it was. I mean, they sold the bank, so
they sold the bank. But not yet. We're still in. We're still in. But yeah.
And well, if you can get that,
but you know what? That's great. They sold the bank.
That's
really, that's the goal, right? They took
goal.
something that was struggling and they turned it into something that they could, could sell. So.
And literally came in and redesigned a 15-year-old website.
Yeah.
That they didn't want to change to compliance, and that's the intricacy of what you guys do too. Is I mean, you work with a bank which is compliance driven, so everything you have on there, you have to understand the compliance pieces. So you were working with a lot of different levels. Your
we do, and every single customer we have is in a different place, which I love because. My days are never boring. You just never know what's. That's
why I love this chair because I learned so much from everybody who sits in that chair.
Yeah.
It's so fun. What else we got? So we're right about the back end of this.
Yep.
But listen, if you are thinking about leveling up your business for 2024 is going to be an amazing year because it's the age of Aquarius, right? Lana,
all right. I didn't know that's why it was going to be a great year. Now
we have a show on that.
That's why I sit here.
Our master psychic, Lana Duncan Hartgraves, on tomorrow at what is she on 9:30? 9:30 is she'll tell you it's the age of 2024 is going to be a big year. So get with Think Big, Go Local to put yourself in a position to have the best year you're ever going to have.
Absolutely.
Bobbi and her team they're down-to-earth people, brilliant, creative, understand processes they've worked with. I will challenge you this: find a business they haven't worked with. If you think that she hasn't worked with your business, try. Right
there you go,
and go to www.thinkbiggolocal. That's 2 G's in there. thinkbiggolocal.com. There's contact us there. You won't be disappointed. If you need a speaker, a trainer, some of that, reach out to Bobbi. She's incredible.
Thank you. And I love it. That's one of my favorite things to do. I love it.
She just loves to give and give and give. And go out and check out Rise Up Foundation. Just put out who's coming to the next one.
Yeah.
Check out Gigi's Playhouse.
Gigi's Playhouse, absolutely.
Which is awesome. What else am I missing?
We could name drop things all day that we want to draw attention to, but those are good ones. Those are good ones.
So any last word that you want to just put out there?
No, I'm just excited to hear that 2024 is going to be a great year for everybody.
It is.
And we're hoping it's going to be for us and for our community and all the businesses that make us all better, all of us.
And coming around, stay tuned to 216 and that, because coming around the corner might be a really neat announcement with Think Big, Go Local.
I think there might be. Stay tuned.
So for all of us here at 216 and that, thank you for getting caught in the net with us here. Remember, it's your dime, so let's talk local.